Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys awesome interviews. And today it is an honor and privilege to have Arun Kamath on the phone with me right now. He's the guitarist and backing vocals of Screaming Beast. Screaming Beast is releasing their debut album, Our New Narrative of Hate, and that's going to be released this month on the 23rd, March 23rd. So I would suggest anybody out there who likes heavy stuff, pick this album up. It's really, really good. Arun, how's it going, man?
I'm doing good, John. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Dude, it's awesome to have you on here. It's always good to talk to metal-like-minded friends, my friend.
Absolutely. I've never spoken to anyone from Kentucky either, so it's a first for me.
I hope my accent's not that bad.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, let's jump right into this. What's impressed you or excited you the most about making the debut album, Our New Narrative of Hate? What's caught your eye about it, if anything?
I think just the whole process of how it came together, because we've all known each other for quite a long time. And when we all kind of got together and started assembling the songs and, figuring out parts and things, it was just a really fun, there was no pretense behind it. It was just like a group of friends getting together and just making some noise, and then it's sort of that noise eventually turned into some songs, and we're really proud of what we've done somehow. So we're really pleased with the record that we've created. So I think it's just the buzz of creating and then wanting to go out and play it live for people as well.
I want to know, how was it for the first time when you guys took the stage as a group, as a lineup?
It's slightly nerve-wracking because obviously we'd played in a practice room together and we kind of figured out, okay, this is what we want to do in the set. But obviously when you step on stage, it's a very different experience. There's everybody's looking at you and it's kind of like, oh God, we've actually got to perform. But it was a rush, really. Honestly, it was a rush. It was, and that the first gig that we've only done two actually, but the first gig that we did, and in fact the second one, they both just flew by. We had half an hour, whichever gig it was, to play, and honestly, it felt like it was over in 5 minutes, but as they say, time flies when you're having fun. So,
any songs off the new album stand out more to you, if any, on it as of right now, possibly?
One of my personal favorites is definitely the song Despair. We just released a video for that song, like it was a couple of weeks back, I think it was. It's on YouTube. You can, if you just search Screaming Beast Despair, you'll find that video. We shot a video with Jason, our bass player, was one of the directors, if you like, and then we also shot it with some guys from Salford University in Manchester. But that particular song, I'm just really, really proud of musically. I think it's one of the best things I've heard. Dan wrote them. Dan, the drummer, wrote the music for the song, and Anton's vocals, I think, really, really kind of. I'm really proud of what he's done, and it also helps that it's got a guitar solo which I play. So that's so. But the whole package of the song for me is that's a standout one. Another one would be Giving Into Fear is another song that I absolutely love. I love all of them, but those two stand out for me.
And I'm sure these change from day to day for you as well. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what mood I'm in, because Despair is quite a slow song, whereas something like Silent Submission is fairly fast, or so something like World of Fate is fairly fast. So it depends day to day. But yeah, generally Despair and Giving Into Fear are my personal favorites.
Despair is a badass song by you guys. I was listening to that yesterday for a long time. I mean, over and over and over, and it's catchy, man. It's really good.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll pass that message on.
It's good stuff. Don't stop what you're doing. That's for sure.
Thank you, dude.
Any songs from the previous EPs, like Blistering Lies and To Assail and Conquer, make the debut album, or no?
They all did, actually.
Oh, okay.
I think pretty much all those songs did, and then the ones that exclusive for the album, if you like, are Despair, The Nameless, and I think that's it. Actually, I think it's just those two that are special for the album, if you like. But yeah, all of Blistering Lies and To Assail and Conquer made the album.
You guys produced this album. Do you like doing it yourself, or do you want to have the opportunity to work with a producer at some point? Because, I mean, I know right now with doing it yourself, you can do it whenever you want to. Do you feel less stress and less, having the have to do it right now?
I think there's advantages to both ways. I would at some point in the future, maybe record number 3 or 4 or something like that, maybe have an outside producer come in and and work with us that way. But the good thing about doing it ourselves is that we know what we intend to, we know what our intention is behind the music, behind the lyrics, and behind how we want to present ourselves as a band. So, and because we've all been doing music for many numbers of years, like, we know how to do it, as it were. So I really like the fact that we all kind of work together on producing the album, so to speak. So I like both ways. But yeah, I would at some point like to maybe work with another producer, but I'm not saying that self-producing is bad, because it's not.
Here's the $1 million question, folks, because you got to look at it this way. When you do produce an album yourself, and Arun will attest to this, you have all the time in the world. But you don't want to take, a lot of time, because it could go away with that edge. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So how long did it take you guys to record this album?
Oh, that's a good question. To record, I really don't know. I don't feel like, because I suppose the other thing about self-producing is that you don't, so if you have a producer and you book studio time, you go in this day to do the drums for these tracks, and then the drums for those tracks another day, and then you go in to do rhythm guitars, and then you go in to do lead guitars, and you go in to do bass. Whereas when you're self-producing, you can kind of do what you want when you want. So it might have been that certain songs, I mean, for example, songs from the EPs were kind of already done. They were just given like a bit of a sonic update, so to speak, for the album. Whereas songs like Despair and The Nameless needed recording basically from scratch. So it's a bit more of a disjointed process. But the advantage of that is that every song remains fresh. You don't ever get kind of tired of hearing one song, because you can kind of do what you want when you want.
Do you still see this band growing musically, or has it just been more just a personal growth for all of you guys?
Absolutely, I see us growing both personally and as a band. I think on the personal level, obviously we have life experiences and whatever, and that influences what we then write later on. But as a unit, we definitely are expanding, because the first album was primarily written by Dan and Anton together, with a little bit of writing input from the rest of us, but primarily it was those two. Whereas we already have almost an album's worth, actually, of new material, which that's got songs that I've written, that's got songs that Rory's written, it's got songs that Jason has written as well. So the next record will definitely be much more collaborative, and that's an example of how we will grow as a unit.
In your own opinion, what have you brought to this band after joining it? Because I know it just started out with just 2 members, but what have you brought to this table for this band that may have been missing, Arun?
Well, I guess because I do the lion's share of the lead playing on the album, so I guess I've come in from a lead guitar point of view. I guess it maybe will be shown in future songs, because I've written some songs to go on to album number 2, whatever and whenever that is. Me and Dan have worked together in the past, musically, so we kind of understand each other's ideas quite a lot. But yeah, I guess the lead playing, and also, I've learned over the years about certain things to do with production as well, and I'm going to start using those techniques as well. So I guess just I don't know, just general music stuff, and people tell me I'm quite good to watch on stage, so maybe the live performance aspect as well.
Do you do anything differently during the recording and writing process, to help keep your mind open and fresh to new stuff, and not let the music get stale? Because, I mean, let's face it happens to everybody, but do you do anything differently to help you keep your mind open?
Well, I think all of us are. We're all involved in other musical projects as well. So we all do other things, which is great, because it means if you are getting stuck on a song, you can then kind of, okay, I'll put that to one side for now and go and work on something else, whether it's another Screaming Beast song or a song or another song for another band or whatever. And then when you come back to it, you come back with fresh ears. So I guess we all kind of do that, and we all. we don't really. I mean, even though our music has a particular kind of sound, a particular groove, nothing's out of bounds. So, if someone wants to bring an idea that's that's completely kind of left field, that's cool as well, because then it's like, okay, well, how can we make this a Screaming Beast thing? So yeah, I guess we all keep it fresh in our own way.
They keep it real, folks.
Exactly, keep it real.
What do you hope the fans take away from the new album once they start listening to it, or just Screaming Beast music in general, Arun?
I hope they go away with broken necks. No, I don't know. Yeah, broken necks, broken eardrums. Why not? No. I hope the fans or whoever listens to us gets the same enjoyment out of the music that we have creating it.
What can fans expect at a show from Screaming Beast who have not got to see you guys live as of yet?
Well, I mean, there is some live footage, so you could see what to expect. But I guess we put on a decent show. There's not just five guys stood on stage, looking down and playing. We do put on a pretty good show when we play, and we will obviously play songs from this album. But yeah, it's we've had good interactions with the crowd as well, and they've all seemed to really enjoy it. So more of that, please.
Do you like the digital era of recording albums and plus social media nowadays to get music out quicker and plus reach a ton of fans out there? Do you like this that we're in right now, possibly?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an adjustment from how it used to be.
Oh, for sure.
I guess bands used to rely on CD sales, and nobody buys CDs anymore. But I think the important thing to do is to adapt to the times. I'm a digital music user as well. I still buy records as well, but I use streaming services and things like that. And if it's a way to get out to more people, then that's great. I'm all for it. I think it's important to be able to adapt to what the customer, effectively, let's face it, that's what they are. I think it's important to adapt to what the customer requires and what they want. So yeah, I like it.
Support wise, and I don't know if you get this a lot as of right now since you guys are kind of a young band, but is there like a country or a location that stands out more or surprises you? You guys get support from that area, possibly?
I can't really say at the moment. I mean, maybe I can answer that once the albums come out a little bit. I mean, there's definitely markets I'd like to break into. I mean, I'd love to break into America. I'd love to come over for you fine folks in Kentucky and come and play for you. That'd be awesome.
Sure. We'll have you barbecue.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not really sure at the moment. But maybe in a few weeks I can give an answer for you.
What does Screaming Beast bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now? Possibly, man. I
mean, we combine quite really quite heavy music with very melodic vocals, and that's something that you don't hear a lot of. That's there's although I love heavy metal with screaming in it, I take pride in the fact that Screaming Beast doesn't have that, even though it's got screaming in the name, which is weird. But I think we just have a really nice groove and a really nice kind of swagger to our music while still being listenable. So I guess that's what I like out. That's what I like about it anyway.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you that said, yeah, right there is what I want to do?
That's a good question. I guess I was learning various different instruments when I was a child, and then one day I picked up the guitar. I literally remember strumming, I think it was an A minor chord and an E chord, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And it was just one of the, when you get bitten by the bug, it was just that. And it was that, and then one of the earliest memories I remember was that this is just one memory of about a million, but it was watching the November Rain video by Guns N' Roses, watching Slash stand up on a piano and play a solo, and I thought that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I want to be able to do that. And I even remember as a child kind of climbing up onto my bed trying to emulate it just because I was like, this is cool. So yeah, it's a bit of a dumb answer, but there you go.
Now you guys are from Manchester, right? Is that correct?
Yep.
Let's talk about this a little bit versus overseas versus America. support wise over there with clubs and things like that, do you get a lot of support and can get a lot of shows, or do you have to travel a lot to get shows, man?
The scene in Manchester is actually really quite good. It's very healthy. There's something usually something going on at least every weekend and every Thursday, if not every night. There's usually a fair few shows on, and you know, if you no matter what kind of pocket of metal you like, or rock music you like, you can go and find a show that will that will satisfy your needs. So I think, you know, in terms of support in Manchester, it's I wouldn't say easy, but it's easily facilitated, let's say. But it is always good to travel out and play elsewhere as well, perhaps in scenes where it's not so healthy, because then they just appreciate anything that comes through as well. So yeah, in Manchester the scene's really, really healthy, I would say, and it's definitely helped us as well, and we're really, really, really grateful for that.
If you ever had the opportunity to work with any musician that has passed away or is alive today, who would you pick, man, or could you pick anybody just to work for like a day or so with?
Ooh, dead or alive? Ooh,
yeah.
That is a very good question. The first person that comes to mind is Dimebag for me.
Oh, nice.
You know, because Dimebag was pretty much the reason that I wanted to play, you know, heavy metal guitar. And you know, he's you know, I love all forms of guitarist, but he's still my favorite guitar player. So even just to try and jam a Pantera song with him would have just been awesome. But obviously that's not going to happen. But you know, that's the dream. You know, that's just one of about a bunch of examples I could pick, I suppose.
You know, people can hate me when I say this, but there is nobody that can even come close to Dime other than Zach.
Yeah, that's a good statement.
I mean, it just sends chills up me when I hear Zach play sometimes. And Zach's one of my favorite all-time guitarists. So, I mean, I love Zach. Period.
Yeah. We I mean, there's definitely some Zach and generally Black Label Society influence in our music, as you've probably heard. So we definitely fly that flag a little bit as well.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
All right, so this album, folks, comes out March 23rd. I've got to listen to it, and it's pretty damn good. And I'm not just saying that because he's on here or anything like that. If it wasn't all that great, I would say, man, you could have done better. Trust me.
Oh, thanks, dude.
But this album is really good. Arun, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy this album, and support you guys? How can they do that, my friend?
Well, the album is coming out on March 23rd, as you said, via CD Baby. It'll be online. It'll be available on all the usual streaming services that people use. So, you know, iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, Deezer, whatever it is that you guys use. You can also head over to we have a page on Facebook. We have a YouTube channel. We have Twitter, Instagram, you know, all the usual social. And we have a website as well, screamingbeast.com. I think it's .com, it might be .co. I think it's .com. So yeah, we have presence all over the internet. So yeah, you can go and like or tweet or follow or as appropriate. And I think we have a mailing list as well. There's definitely something you can subscribe to on the website anyway. I might be mistaken. But anyway, we're online and we will soon be available online. So yeah.
Hey, before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Absolutely, yes. This is Arun from Screaming Beast, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Thank you so much, Arun.
Thank you very much, John.